I'm going to talk about what just happened for future reference because I don't want it to happen again, you know? Yeah, so okay, yeah. What basically happened that was bad was that I drove to work and couldn't go inside. I could not go inside. Today was it was a weird day. I'm trying to like piece together what could have led up to that kind of emotional mental response that happened, but I have an idea already. But I woke up. I wasn't feeling great when I woke up. Not much excitement for life, you know what I mean? It's like my mind is always just saying things. Always saying things. And yeah, I wake up in that state and it's not really fun, you know what I mean? And like I try to just clear my head, like I'm just gonna be here now as soon as I possibly can after waking up, right? Because I don't want like my thoughts to be in control of my actions, right? I have varying success with that because sometimes I'll have a thought and I'll feel like it's a good idea, and so I'll do it. But I don't know. A part of me is starting to kind of wonder if acting on any kind of thought is really a great idea. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Today was yeah. I lost track. Woke up, trying to clear my head as soon as I can. Yeah, I did some things that like I think I typically would have a lot of issue with. Like when I first woke up, I got my pills in me. I read some of my book, and then I was gonna go take a shower, and I like couldn't because my roommate was taking a shower at the time, and so like I don't ever want to kind of get upset about things, you know what I mean? Like I heard wherever there's negative emotion or anger, there's ego, and I've observed that kind of does seem to kind of be the case. And so if I catch myself having a negative emotion, I kind of try to see how it's rooted in ego. And typically that gets me to kind of want to just kind of sit down and clear my mind. And once my mind is clear, usually that's when I kind of get up and do something. And I don't really want to get up if my mind is in a state where I feel like I'm going to act out of emotion or out of reactivity or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah. And yeah. I think I was successful with that while I was waiting for him to finish up. You know what I mean? Like I kind of sat down. It was kind of tricky for my mind for a bit because my mind wanted the immediate gratification. Situation was as it was, right? So just kind of sat and I was like, let's just fucking wait it out. It seemed like it kind of worked. Um, yeah, I had all my animals taken care of before I took my shower. I took my shower. It wasn't that fun. I remember. Usually I enjoy my showers a lot. It's like a mind clearing thing. Warm water feels good. Taking care of yourself feels good. I sing during it, so like that's always fun too. Like just kind of harmonizing and trying to, you know, sing well. It's like practice, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I could tell I have like a paranoid thought. Like, or not a paranoid thought, but my mind kind of wants me to think that I sing in the shower to like impress other people. And like, maybe, but no one has ever, I've never gotten a single ounce of feedback, right? Like, it's not like I'm getting like any kind of, I don't know. No one's telling me it sounds good, right? Like, it's a weird thought. I don't know. It's a great place to sing, I find, because the warm water helps your throat, you know? Keeps it kind of more apt to be in singing shape than it would be if you were just singing anywhere, normal air. I don't know. Maybe that could be an ego rationalization, but I've always sung in the shower, even since ever since I started getting into singing. It's one of my favorite places to sing. I like doing it quietly, right? But I don't know. I think I slip into ego states sometimes where it's like I don't even listen to what the music is. I just try to sing over it. And I don't know. That's not how I like to do it. I like to do it when I can kind of hear the song in the background and like I'm kind of sliding into it, you know? Not like overpowering it. I don't know. I feel like there's like things that I kind of thought were pure or whatever, or at least not bad, that seem to either be infesting my mind or turning into less, like getting tarnished, if that makes sense. As presumably by ego. Yeah, well, anyway, I tried singing in the shower today. That was such a tangent. I tried singing in the shower today, and I felt like I really couldn't. I felt like my voice was either weak, sore. It just wasn't. It wasn't really doing what I wanted it to do. It wasn't in tune. Like I don't know. I couldn't. It wasn't present. I couldn't kind of keep up. My mind kept wandering. I kept anticipating. I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't popping today with music. All day today, it's like I've been trying to kind of, I guess, do what I usually do, and my mind has just been not letting me. Not letting me. Yeah. So I couldn't really sing right. I wasn't present enough to sing well, I don't think. Like I could feel awareness, I could feel consciousness in me, but it's like it kept slipping in between the right here, right now, and like the anxious past and the anticipatory future. Or wait, no, the depressed past and anticipatory future. I don't know. Yeah, kept fucking sliding back and forth. I don't know. I feel like I definitely did give in to desire a lot. Like, I don't know. Is that actually true, or is that like what my mind is kind of making me feel? Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, kind of. I didn't really enjoy any of the, like, stuff I gave into, though. It's weird. Like, yeah, no, I have been giving into desire, like, all day. Come to think of it. Like, desire for stimulus, sensory input, certain types of feelings, desire for entertainment, for peace, desire. Kind of all day today was, I don't know. I'm getting lost in thought, but yeah, I guess the weird, what happened that kind of, that I kind of really didn't like. There's a sequence of things that, as like an awareness. So like, yeah, there was this moment in the bathroom where I like made a deal with my mind. My mind asked for more coffee. Yeah, I had a desire for more coffee, and then I started speaking out loud. And when I started speaking out loud, I basically said, "Do I want another coffee, or how about an Adderall?" I have an Adderall, and I had already taken my Adderall for the day. This was more, and the whole idea was like, oh, to play bass and go to work, right? And then when I did that, I like made a deal with my mind. It was a deal. And the deal was if I took that, the half an Addy, and drank green tea instead of coffee, that my mind would be clear and let consciousness come through, like not block it in any kind of way, hold it, cling to it, obstruct it. That was the deal that I made with my mind. And then what happened after I kind of did that, was when I went to go play bass, I could for like a little bit. It wasn't bad, you know? It wasn't like I completely forgot how to play, which sometimes feels like happens. Like, it just feels like I just don't even know how to hold the instrument. It'll be like, today I sat down feeling like I knew what I was doing. Like, I sat down kind of, you know, when I picked up the bass, it felt like I was like, yep, time to play bass. Like, I got in that mode, you know? I felt the mode pop up. And I started playing, and it sounded like my, like, bass voice. Like, it sounded like how my fingers, how I remember them sounding, kind of, when I was playing a lot. But my mind would just not freaking let me be. Like, it would not let me play. It would not let me pay attention. It would not let me just kind of let things, like, listen and be present. And, it just, I don't know, it kept saying things, flashing images, like, just things popping up in my mind to kind of pull me out of the moment and, like, fuck up my groove, right? And the more I kept playing, I got 30 minutes in, and the more I kept playing, it was like, I don't know, I wasn't getting any enjoyment from playing. Like, when I was purely free of mind and could just play, I felt like I did enjoy it, right? In like a little bit. It was like, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. But I don't know. It wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't that fun. Now, granted, I'm playing a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm playing a bunch of old bass lines that I've played before, and I'm not learning anything new. So it could be a huge part of the reason why it's not as fun as kind of it was. I don't know, there's some bass lines, like, there's some stuff that I used to play anyway that kind of always felt pretty good to play, you know, just to play it. Even if I've heard it a trillion times, just playing it kind of felt nice. I don't know, I think I kind of get so caught up on playing well that I forget to, like, have fun. I think my mind is kind of, it doesn't like when I have fun. My mind does not like it when I have fun. I don't know why that is. It's kind of seeming like that's the case, though, to be honest. Like, it's a generalization, to be honest. I don't know if my mind necessarily does that. But today, it's definitely felt like that. I'll tell you what. It really has. I don't know what's going on with my sleep. I feel like I haven't been sleeping right. Yeah. And anyways, after bass, right, the other half of the deal was, you know, consciousness clear so I could play bass and go to work and be awake and clear for it and present. And I went upstairs, I was in the basement, and I decided to go up to my room for the last, like, hour. I had to leave at 4:22 to get to work at 5. I had work at 5. I had to leave at 4:22, so I went up to my room at 3. For like an hour and 20 minutes, I was gonna sit up here and, like, meditate and read my book and look at my animals and stuff and, like, look at the sky because I have windows up here and I can actually see outside. And I wanted to kind of get myself out of the darkness a little, even though it's really fun down there, you know? I don't know. And I went upstairs to do that at 3. It was like 3:05, right? I went up here. And dude, my mind was just fucking, like, it was like literally like an iron grip on my center of my consciousness inside my head. I could literally feel it. It was like these forces, these, like, internal, energetic, mental forces, like, iron gripping my awareness, iron gripping it. I could feel my whole fucking Kundalini path getting plugged up. It was the most bizarre state. And it's like, while my freaking awareness was getting, like, iron gripped in place, right? Just, I could feel it all the way along my spine and shit. My ego and my thoughts were just continuously, like, playing, like, anxious worries, you know, reasons I should not go to work today, reasons I should find a new job, reasons why, you know. It was the weirdest thing. I could just feel it. Like, my consciousness got reduced. My emotional capacity got, like, reduced. It all just got boxed inside my head, and then my head kind of, like, showed me a bunch of thoughts as to why it would be such a terrible idea for me to go to work today. And in my consciousness, I kind of had already decided I was going to be doing this, even though I don't like this job and I need to find a new job. I had decided I was going to go today anyway, because I need the money for spiritual growth, for, you know, not doing something selfish, right? And, yeah, I don't know. I kept slipping in and out. I kept slipping in and out of just, like, serene awareness with no mental activity playing, just... And I can, like, hear the ambient noise and, like, smell smells, and, like, my breath gets clear again. It kept slipping in between that and the iron grip. Hi, Poe. My roommate's cat's out there. And all day today, I mean, like, it's, like, kind of a really frequent thing, like, my awareness getting, like, slipping into these states of being, like, feeling like it's getting controlled by, like, forces inside of my mind. And it's like, when that happens, I have less control over my actions. I have less control, less consciousness over my body. You know what I mean? It's like my awareness is just inside my noggin. And while that's going on, my ego is, like, playing shit at me and then doing things in the background. And then if I kind of catch that that's going on, which I've been getting better at, like, being like, oh, whoa, what's this? It's like, I'll just, like, stop, and then all of a sudden my awareness will, like, come back. And then it'll happen again after, like, a little bit. I'll slip back into it, right? And this has been, for the longest time, I kind of thought, I don't know, I've been having this, like, mental shift of, like, I've known for a minute that, like, who we all truly are is, like, consciousness or awareness and all this and just that. And that's Brahman or whatever, the whole universe. I've known that for a minute, but I don't know, I had, like, these ego bits still kind of, like bunched in with that idea. Like, I tried to formulate the story for myself in my head, like, about how I was, like, this soul who has been through this super long journey and is this ancient soul, right? And how I've been on this path for a fucking minute, and yeah, I don't even know how this story kind of came about, right? And that I've the music that I'm so into, that's, like, part of that, like, my soul identity, like, my transness, all that is, like, tied to this story that I kind of have in my head of me. And I guess I've kind of been realizing that there is such a distinct difference. There is such a massively distinct difference between the you that is here in this moment, experiencing this shit right now, you know, from your own perspective, feeling and hearing and tasting and seeing and all this, and the you that you kind of build in your head to kind of understand what's happening and kind of understand you as a separate entity. There's such a difference between these two things. And I'm kind of realizing that a whole lot of who I kind of thought I was that story. And not so much my conscious actions. Right? And then it kind of clicked in my head, like, for realsies, that, like, all we are is just consciousness, right? Just consciousness. Nothing else. All of the stuff that I, like, worried about, my, like, soul path, you know, me as an entity, me as a separate being, right? All of that is not something that that is contained within the mind. None of that is stories you tell yourself, you know, thoughts, emotions. None of that. Everything about who, like, everything about who you are dwells within consciousness. That's it. You can't cling on to it in any kind of way. You can't conceptualize it. You can't store it in your noggin. If you do, it's a delusion. It's wrong. Because the mind can't understand consciousness. The mind doesn't get it. I just had I feel like that was thought blocking. But yeah, since I've been kind of realizing that all this, there's only one self, and the self is the conscious present right now. The right nowness, the awareness, the thing all the way in the back. I don't know, the field of just attention that isn't personal and has no identity or thoughts or emotions or anything like that. That's the only self that actually exists. Personality, emotion, all of these things. These are things we experience that dwell within us, yes. It's not consciousness. There's no personality without a stimulus to poke it, right? If you're in an isolation chamber, there's no personality. If there's nothing to if there's no form to play with, there's no personality. And so personality is also kind of amorphous and there's no way for a mind to conceptualize personality. It doesn't dwell within the mind. Your consciousness has a personality. The capital S self indeed does have I don't know, a flavor. And that capital S self slices that flavor up into all of us. And the mind tries to kind of understand that and kind of figure out its slice of that. Fair enough, that's what minds do. And it's not to say that we don't have personalities and that we don't have ways in which we're unique, right? But it just doesn't dwell within the mind. It took me forever to fucking realize this. It took me forever to realize this. If I look for it in my head, if I try to have it in my head, generate it in my head in any kind of way, that is not genuine. It's not genuine. It's a delusion. And the cause of all suffering is our minds doing that. Is our minds fucking clinging to shit like that and trying to categorize it and put it to some kind of personal story and how it relates to me and how terrible X, Y, or Z is and all this, and gives it a take and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like since it's been kind of clicking in my head that I'm not that voice that plays in my head. I'm not my desires. I'm not any impulse. I'm not any emotional state. I'm not any pair of clothing. There's no way to pin down identity at all in any kind of way, period. And ever since my mind has been kind of seeing that that's what I've been kind of waking up to, I think it's kind of freaking the fuck out really bad. Because a lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been bullshit to kind of let my mind trick my awareness into thinking things are not quite as I think they might be. Yeah. And today, I don't know. I don't know how any of that, it's I had a thirst today for sensorial pleasure, and that thirst wasn't really getting met. And then I kind of was gonna decide to make myself do something even harder, and it's I don't know, that thirst ironed down on my fucking consciousness and overwrote my ability to it was stronger than my presence. And I don't know what the fuck I've been doing. I kind of have an idea, I guess, but I don't know. I must have been building my ego up and up and up and up and up and up and up, because this fucking guy. Hands! This guy, hands! I have no idea what I got this fucking... I don't know. I think I might have just been thinking I was that story in my head for a really long time. Yeah. Any story we have in our heads about ourselves, I'm saying this like I can teach anybody fucking anything, but it's wrong. It's not real. It's not how things actually probably even went. The mind can't get it. Doesn't get it. The mind does not get it. The mind has no way of understanding consciousness. And my mind is continuously trying to kind of like still be a part of it. Just like still be a part of the equation. And it's like, I do what, yeah, well, it's gonna be no matter what. My mind is a part of the equation, but it's just not in charge anymore. And it's trying very, very hard to still be in charge, but I don't know, after what I kind of felt today, there's some stuff that I gave into that, like, I thought would make my mind happy, you know? That's gonna stop. And my mind can bitch and scream all it fucking wants, right? But, yeah, I don't know. Things like looking at certain shopping websites, using certain substances, taking certain dosages of things, you know, doing certain things before certain other things. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I could tell that, like, there's kind of an awakening happening, and there's, like, stuff going on in my pain body, my mental field, my impulses. There's something actively going on that is kind of fucking up my ability to be aware and control my actions fully and be present. And typically these sorts of things are called ego. Now, could it be possible that I'm just having a schizophrenic break? Yes. Oh, of course. It absolutely could be, and it totally kind of does look like that from an observer perspective. But I don't know. I feel like I can kind of feel my emotions right now a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of my anxiety and, like, that's my ego's go-to to get me worried, to be honest. Is, oh, it must be schizophrenia. It's my ego's go-to. It always gets me fucking worried, man. Yeah, I don't know. Today was fucking whack. It was like, yeah, it was bizarre as hell. I actually made it to work. I drove all the way to work. And I get to this fucking parking lot after my mind did that iron bar thing. I realized I never even fucking finished the story. But fucking, yeah. So I finally decided to get up because it's like good for me or whatever to go to work, right? It's good for me or whatever to go. It is good for me. It's like the right thing to do, yeah. Even going there causes me like immense mental pain, and like it torments my spirit, kind of. That's what it feels like. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Some things suck, you know? Like, it is what it is. I kind of stood up. I drove all the way there. And on the drive there, you know, my mind was kind of being like, it didn't want me to go. I could tell, but it wasn't like that crazy. Like, it kind of felt like how I typically, it was like going to school or something. Like, you know, you don't want to, but you do. And then I don't know what happened. When I pulled up there, dude, that same, like, iron bar grip that I was able to kind of slip in and out of, like, I don't know, when I got there, it felt like that was happening, and then the weirdest thing happened. I felt like I became aware. I was present. I was there. I had an idea of what I kind of conceptualized to be the right way to go, and what I had conceptualized as the wrong way to go. The right way to go inside, work my shift. The wrong way to go home. I had that conception. And what I ended up doing when I pulled up there was I opened up the Dhammapada and just started reading it. Well, I meditated at first. Like, I put my fucking legs in the crossy, like the fucking Indian style, dude. Lotus or whatever. I did that. And I sat. And I tried to clear my mind and get my shit, like, ready to go, you know. And I feel like I kind of did to an extent. I could feel this weird, like, kind of like wobble. It's like haziness, kind of. It's like distortion feel, kind of like slightly tinging shit, kind of underwatery-ing shit. Like sounds were less clear and stuff. And I just started reading that book for like an hour. It ended up being like an hour. They called me at 36 minutes, right? And I don't know, just like I told them that I couldn't, like, my mind was going crazy and I couldn't handle it. When that was going on, though, it wasn't like my mind was, it at that moment it didn't quite feel like how it did before, where it was like my ego, it didn't feel like my ego was holding me down and yelling at me. It felt like my awareness, like my spiritual strength was like dim and flickering. Like, yeah, I felt like it was like dim and flickering, and I felt like I had very little ability to kind of reach out and make my body move, right? It was, I don't know, and I like, yeah, I felt like I was inside my head just kind of like, okay, like, this is weird. Like, I just definitely, yeah, I kind of realized that I didn't want to go in. It wasn't just my mind, and it wasn't just, you know, my body, like, as a consciousness. It was like I kind of felt like going in there was hurting myself, because I get panic attacks when I go in there. And like, I don't know, I really, well, I envisioned what could go wrong, I guess. Also, what has typically been happening has happened more times than not, I think, mental conception. But I envisioned that, and I don't know, something won me over. I was feeling like very, very dispassionate for my emotions at that point, right? Like, I was like, you know, whatever I feel, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I'm gonna. I don't know. I just kind of got this like inkling of just like, fuck, like, this job is like fucking. It's been such a spiritual goddamn like workout trying to figure out a way to be happy with having that shit. And I have a voice in my head that instantly wants to jump in and be like, well, that's narcissism. You know what I mean? That's just your ego deciding that job's not good enough, and then trying to rationalize reasons why you shouldn't go. And then I kind of realized that if I think like that, there's never any job that could be bad enough for me to to have a legitimate reason to want to switch jobs, dude. Like, I get panic attacks when I go in there, like physiological panic attacks. Okay, I can't breathe half the time. Like, my asthma gets activated from all the dust, and I'm like, like, that happens all the time. I don't know. It's super intense. I don't know for 100% sure if I have autism, but like there's so many days where it just feels like too much, like just so much sensory input, so much to kind of be accountable for in terms of like, pay attention to this, don't stop paying attention to that. You know what I mean? You can't just retreat inside of your fucking mind. You gotta be like present for like people and like not look zoned out and stuff like that. I didn't realize how much of a habit I had with that when things got too intense. It was really, at my last job, and it was really easy for me to kind of just like do my own thing, and it wasn't a problem. I don't know, here, when I do that, I don't know. It's like, it feels like it's almost impossible for me to do that there for some reason. I'm like, yeah, if someone else isn't, like, I don't know, if someone else's presence isn't causing me, like, discomfort, like my own presence I feel like causes me discomfort, and it's probably because it's fucking ego, dude. Ego still like consciousness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, regardless, we're here now. You know, I can't despair. It's mental clinging that causes suffering. We're here now. I didn't get fired, I don't think, you know. I did talk to somebody, and just dip like I was planning on. Thank goodness. So like, I still can get some income here, I think, while I'm looking for a new job. But it's like, it's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to I don't know. Well, it's like I wasn't finding a new job. I wasn't looking. And my reason for wanting to go, beyond anything else, was to not hurt anybody in there. Even though they have hurt me a bunch. But just because they've hurt me a bunch, they've hurt my ego a bunch, you know? You know? It is tricky. It's been tricky. And I don't know. I'm not trying to fuck up my own awakening path here. I can feel consciousness emerging inside of me. I can feel the bubble. And I know it's like separate than any conception I have of me. I know it's separate than me. I have had experiences like in the past where I felt like that same consciousness, that same awareness, the presence, the being, the aliveness in me, right? Like, I knew I was that in the past. I've known I was that in the past. I'm realizing. My ego developed over time and like slowly convinced me I was that. But I used to kind of know I was consciousness and not really understand that, you know? Because the mind does not understand consciousness. It never does. It never can. And I don't know. Yeah. I used to know. I forgot. I feel like I'm remembering. I don't want to do anything to fuck up that path. I don't want to do any. Like, every time I feel my own awareness, it's bliss. It's divine, bruh. It's divine. Just feeling cool air on your skin. Just feeling fucking, I don't know, like a low vibration in the floor. Or like music. Simply just like yeah, just vibration. Good. Sounds. Just smells. Without any kind of label, without like sitting there and dividing it up in any kind of way in your head, just experiencing it. There's something just so fucking gnarly about that. And every time I slip out of it, like back into some kind of mental egoic state, like it's always just like the worst fucking feeling. It's like, come on, man, come on. And I don't know, I think I can't decide, like, I think I'm having a lot of difficulty deciding what's important and what's not, what I should be doing and what I should be doing, especially because I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm trying so hard to just kind of be in that consciousness, be in that awareness. I'm not really being mindful about anything that I do. I actually I'm like afraid of my mind. I like think it's like trying to fucking trick me. And so it's like I like do not listen to it. And the more I avoid it, the more I don't let it affect me, like it like builds up, and like in my mind, I can tell my mind gets more pissed and more pissed and more pissed. And eventually, like it did today, it will just fucking like it will take over if I'm not paying enough attention, right? It's like I'm trying to figure out a way to like conduct my action and kind of like be where I'm present and aware, but also like my mind is like on my side, like on the side of consciousness. I don't think there's any way to completely dissolve an ego. I think it's yeah, it's yin yang, right? I don't think there's any way to dissolve it, but it's like, I don't know, I have to like stop slipping in and out of presence. And I think there's things that I kind of do that facilitate that happening a lot, that I definitely should stop. There's a middle way, though. I know this. It's like I'm trying to I feel like I'm trying so hard to be aware that I'm becoming like quite a lot less aware. I feel like my scope for life is getting narrowed anyway. Like I'm getting so drawn into the present moment that I'm not like, I don't know, I don't think about what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't think about what I want to do in a week. I don't think about what I want to do, like, that I don't ever fucking think about that, dude. I don't even think about what I want to do, like, later today. It's like, I just think about what I'm gonna do next, like, what I'm doing right now, and then if I'm gonna do something else. I don't know, yeah. From moment to moment. Straight up from moment to moment. And see, like, I feel like that's a good thing, like, not mentally clinging, but that doesn't seem quite very conscious, right? You shouldn't be living from moment to moment. You should just be present. You know what I mean? There's no separate moment. I don't know why I keep, like, there's, like, the continuity of consciousness keeps getting fucking split up. I can feel it, too. It'll be like my mind will try to, like, generate an approximation for the feeling also, but it's predictive. It's not presence. There's such a difference. There's such a difference between, like, prediction and reaction versus, like, just consciousness and response, right? It could be as simple as not responding to my impulses, but I think I have to have, like, an idea of what the right thing to do is also, not just saying that's wrong to my mind, you know? There's got to be a... But I feel like my consciousness already kind of knows these things. Like, my consciousness kind of... Like consciousness is the spiritual heart. That is the source of love, you know, that's the source of all those things. All the nice, wonderful qualities people can have. The ego is the source of all separation, meanness, you know. Yeah, I'm just going on tangents, dude. Like, do you see there's, like, no continuity in even this, like, video? I've been, like, trying to, like, figure out what happened today and what's been going on. I guess I've kind of been doing that. I've been dancing around the topic, but, like, yeah, I can understand why, like, I have a paranoia about me getting schizophrenic, but nah, yeah, I know that's a go-to. It's such a go-to for my freaking ego to get me all worked up. It is too. And I think ego's kind of, well, I know memories are very imperfect anyway, and when my ego's activated or when my pain body's activated, like, yeah, I feel like my memories become very selective, and yeah, sometimes images just flash in my consciousness. I don't even know if it's an actual memory, right? Like, I don't think about it hard. I just, like, see it and I'm like, yep. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks that it's like it's bad to have desire, to want to build a self-image, to want to accomplish things, right? Like, I feel like all I've cared about is awakening. That's it. Just awakening, awakening, awakening. While I'm doing mindless bullshit. Because my attention is just, I'm so focused on feeling my awareness. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm not really formulating out a life for myself in any kind of way. I'm not, like, thinking about a path. I'm not thinking about my future. I'm not thinking about anything that's not right there in front of me. Unless it's, like, desiring for something, like, to get something. That's ego, too. I've been, like, noticing lustful thoughts like that and, like, being like, you know, that's thirst, that's desire. But there's some I still act on. I don't know. I think I'm yearning for, like, a spiritually meaningful life. But I'm kind of realizing, like, what the hell is that? Like, you know? What the hell is that? I do have desires. They can't be extinguished. Desire cannot be extinguished. You know, any spiritual teacher has said that. The Dalai Lama, Buddha. You know, Emotion, desire, all of these things exist. It's like, it's all about how you react to them. And I feel like my capacity to kind of be present in the face of mental disturbance, any kind of ripple in the pond, so like any kind of desire, thought, feeling, emotion, whatever, my ability to stay present and focused and controlled throughout that is shitty right now. Like, super shitty. Like, I feel like my ability to maintain concentration of focus of presence, that is non-existent. It's constantly dipping and fluxing and flowing. Constantly. Like, on a second to second, minute to minute basis, we talking here. Like I'm always reeling to get it back in. That could be the Adderall. It could be isolation. It could be, you know, like, it could be not listening. I feel like I've been super apathetic and like shut off to my emotions today. You know, I just haven't been enjoying anything. Yeah, I feel I'm like my consciousness does. I'm constantly trying to kind of suppress my mind and make my mind shut the fuck up. Constantly. Like, if I hear a voice in my head, it is not. I don't like it. I don't know. I should. I feel like I should be able to kind of just maintain attention throughout the torrent of thoughts and emotions and whatever the fuck have you, right? Like, things could still be occurring in my mind and it wouldn't disturb kind of like my idea, like my internal perception of me, my internal home base, like my, you know, none of that I would imagine would get fucked up, but maybe like confused for a minute. I don't know, dude. I feel like I keep slipping into unconsciousness like that and identifying with thoughts, emotions, and ego. And I hope it's getting better, but today, the reason I made this video is like, I don't know. I felt very clear and conscious after I drove home from work. After I drove home. Which surprised the living shit out of me, right? Like, I thought I was gonna be getting this fucking, like, torrent. So I guess that means the mind was satisfied? But that wasn't what was happening earlier when I satisfied my mind. So I don't know what to make of that decision. Like, a part of me wants to think it was the right thing to do if that happened afterward, if my mind became still and serene. I don't know. So just keep being present. Truth will come. Path will show itself.